Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. I'm old school, but I keep it funky fresh, y'all. And this is deep, y'all. I'm from the deep, y'all. And what you get is what you motherfucking see.
Welcome back, humans! You know what day it is. My name is Jaime, giving you exclusive vents on headlines that you didn't even know you needed. And with that said, let's get on with some vents, humans. You know, some say we don't, or we shouldn't trust them. You know, and they say like, and they, I strong emphasis on them because they always say like, who is them or who are they? When everybody's like, it's like they're out to get us. You know, stuff like that. So some say don't trust them because they are out to get us. That's what they say. And so are they lying to us? That's what this is today. You know, like things that they're gonna lie about. And some say no, some say yeah. Some trust them all the way to the finish line, and some don't trust them as far as the next conspiracy video they're gonna watch and have a lot of fun with. Either way, I brought a couple things together where some people could say these were lies or were they are truths or falses or false stories, and I'm going to share some of these here where it could have been some samples of where they could be lying to us or may have lied to us in the past. You know, with all these new things coming out in the media, where they were saying these certain things were happening back in the day, and the resource of a certain thing that happened, and now it's coming out that that conspiracy story, whatever, was true. People were getting silenced. I've had videos removed over that kind of stuff. So, because of now that, they were lying. It was, they were lying the whole time. This is wild. Just like they lie about all that, laptop stories and all the other stuff that's coming out. That's nobody seems to care about anyways. But here's some more samples where they could or may not be lying to us. Some speculations around 9/11. There's all kinds of stories surrounding this whole event, and I don't know which way is up or down. Like it's just so many of them. Like, from the conspiracy theories to like all these documentaries that came out from all these specialists and scientists and physicists. They say that, here's a fun fact for you. They say when the towers were built, there was already concern of airplane impacts or airplane attacks. So this building was built to withstand them. So they claim that, they would it wouldn't destroy it. It might burn some stuff a few floors, but one wouldn't be able to take the building down. This is an interesting fact. I mean, you could look it up. I didn't say it. I didn't write it. I'm just reading it. I'm just repeating it. Anyways, like I said, there's a lot of crazy stories from that. There's a lot of interesting documentaries, a lot of investigations still continuing, and a lot of speculation from all the stories that came out and a lot of things that happened. A lot of things changed after that large event. And a lot of people say it was accredited, and some people say it was, an agenda, like to push a next big agenda, and a big narrative. And who knows? It's really strange because they say things did change ever since then when it comes to, my next little segment here, which is the thing that they lie to us all the time where we think we have privacy. Well, we don't. Humans always, feel like they have some sort of privacy, whether you got a VPN or you got to, go hide in your room and, close the doors and, close the curtains up or something, and hide under a blanket, and you think you have some sort of privacy sometimes. Or some people feel the opposite. Some people feel like we're constantly being watched. Like there's no privacy whatsoever. I kind of feel like we're on that second side. Like we might not have any privacy. Like I said, after that big event, a lot of things changed when it came to, our privacy being compromised, I guess you could say. There was a guy named Drake, Thomas Drake, and he was a whistleblower, and he talked about this big operation called Trailblazer. And during this operation, apparently, they were intercepting, and they intercept and document all conversations, texts, and emails. And that's pretty wild. And I think it was almost like 10 years ago. So imagine what their reach is now. Like the technology is so insane now. Imagine like how they're able to, intercept and document all these things now, because most people document all their stuff on social media dang near. Whether it's a fake life or whatever, I mean, it still lets them kind of in the door. You know, because if you're getting like famous or getting some kind of attention and stuff like that, they probably take a peek into your real self and see what's going on back there, see what's going on behind the curtains back there. Like an old episode. But anyways, yeah, these like I said, this technology is so advanced now. I doubt if we have any kind of privacy anymore. I mean, they even say that TikTok app itself, if you read the privacy things, like it was on a bunch of podcasts where people were reading it, saying they can access like all the computers at your house, like all of this stuff and all that, all the stuff you got at your house that's kind of computer hooked up to. And, just for having the app on your phone or wherever you have the app. And people still use it. So I guess they don't really care. I guess, I guess they just don't care. It's interesting though, because like I said, even people with a VPN think they're kind of safe. And I don't even think a VPN, in my opinion, I'm not no expert on this, but I feel like even a VPN might not even be as safe as it seems. Just, I don't know. I could be wrong. But on my next one, this one's a doozy. They called this one the Dark Alliance. That's right, humans. They called it the Dark Alliance. Back in the 1980s, there was a big, big old, cocaine, blast over on the West Coast, and like it was hitting America and starting to spread all over the place. But it was like being distributed by like one specific group at this time in the 80s by this Nicaraguan, if I pronounce that right, drug cartels. And these guys were like just dominating this cocaine game, and people didn't understand how like they were just doing it and getting away with it on this such high levels. They were like just balling out on these crazy levels back in the 80s. So another person, came out and broke out this investigation and found out that the reason they were getting off on all this stuff is because they was paying the government. They was paying them. So that's how come they got to continue while they paid them. As long as they paid them, they can go out there and do what they do. So that was what was happening, according to this whistleblower here who broke this investigation, saying that they were paying the Reagan administration, and that's how they avoided being prosecuted, and they wouldn't get busted, and it could continue, and other people was getting busted, and letting these guys like reign and dominate the game, the crazy drug game. And this was around the time Mr. Reagan and his wife started, I believe, the war on drugs. Isn't that pretty interesting? This is when they started, the man like who broke the, also, they started the war on drugs, and she started that, Just Say No program. During this time, they were getting, funded by Nicaraguan drug cartels, apparently, according to this investigation. I mean, you can look this up. The Dark Alliance. Check it out, humans. It's pretty interesting stuff. Also, the man who broke this story out to the public was also found dead later, like I forget how long later, in his home with multiple gunshots to the head, and they said it was a suicide. So that's something to think about when you want to start an investigation, I guess, on they or them. As far as the big they or them, not the new they or thems. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. My name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Meant to Vent. Till next time, humans. See ya.
I guess